Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be kind of similar to the last in that it's taking place in Japan, but instead of criminals this time, it's a convenience store. So today we're going to be covering the rise of a small Ohio convenience store to a Japanese icon. In 1939, a dairy farmer named J.J. Lawson opened a store inside of his dairy plant in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Originally he named it Mr. Lawson's Milk Store. It was known locally for its fresh and delicious milk. Following the success of his first store, J.J. Lawson would open the Lawson Milk Company, expanding the number of stores throughout the northeastern United States. Not only did Lawson expand his stores, but he grew the number of things that they would sell as well. Beginning to sell groceries, toiletries, and various other daily supplies, the new stores would now be called Lawson, and decorated with the iconic milk jug to represent J.J.'s origins. Through the 40s and into the 50s, Lawson continued to thrive and do well. In 1959, as Lawson continued to spread across the northeastern United States, the company was purchased by an American food giant, Consolidated Foods. Through the 1960s, Lawson Marts were everywhere in Ohio, known for their chip-style ham and sour cream potato chip dip. Lawson continued to climb in the ranks of the American convenience store into the 70s, when in 1974, Consolidated Foods signed an agreement with the Daiei of one of the largest supermarket chains in Japan to open the very first Lawson in Japan. In April of 1975, the Daiei Lawson Company was founded and established as a subsidiary of Daiei Incorporated. In June 1975, Japan would finally get their very first Lawson. The store would open Sakurazuka, Toyonaka in the Osaka prefecture, and alongside this Japanese launch, they also released their first original product, Lawson Plain Milk, which I'm not really sure what it is. I think it's just plain normal milk, but I looked it up and couldn't find any other information on it. So I'm just going to assume that's what it is. Lawson Marts would quickly spread throughout Japan by doing everything they could to integrate themselves with the Japanese public, while also keeping up with another startup chain called 7-Eleven. In April of 1977, all Lawson stores in Japan would be open 24/7 to meet growing demand and to better serve the long-working salarymen. Lawson would continue to innovate into the 1980s, launching Oden sales and home grocery deliveries in 1982. The following year, they began to offer copying and printing services along with offering rice dishes 3 times a day and full meals at both breakfast and dinner. Lawson's ability and flexibility allowed them to meet a booming Japan's needs and saw its number of stores explode across the country and into all 47 prefectures. While the eastern branch was doing well, the cracks were beginning to form back home in America. Back to America. In 1985, Consolidated Foods was renamed to Sara Lee. Sometime around the name change, all United States Lawson stores would be sold to a smaller convenience store chain based out of Connecticut, called Dairy Mart. While the Japanese branch of Lawson continued to shift, update, and meet a changing world, the United States Dairy Mart stagnated. The once-loved Lawson was becoming ever more rundown, bland, and mired in controversy. Dairy Mart was sued by the American Family Association at the behest of a store manager who felt that their sale of pornography was sexual and religious harassment. The case would cost Dairy Mart dearly, though they would eventually win the case in the federal court, Stanley v. Lawson Co., a case now seen as a test of the First Amendment. These issues would plague the U.S. Lawson stores now known as Dairy Mart and send them into a slow decline. Though Lawson had won, the court was extremely expensive as they had to handle legal fees and numerous challenges that cost them more money that could have been gone into developing their stores, modernizing some of their products, and overall just improving the aging state of their stores. While the American Lawsons were starting to show their cracks, business was booming in Japan. Lawson revolutionized snacking in Japan when in 1986 he introduced karage-kun, or as we call it here, the chicken nugget. Due to the success of Lawson, it could afford to be an early adopter of the point-of-sale technology, speeding up transactions and optimizing their business flow. In 1989, Lawson became a proxy for utility payments, offering even more reason for you to stop in and buy something. As we enter the 90s, Japanese Lawson had no plans of slowing down. They launched their Blue Sky plan, changing their motto to the hot station in the neighborhood, a title that would stick and is still around today, having Japanese people view a Lawson as a meeting place in the community, somewhere to be, somewhere to go to. Lawson in 1992 then decided to give back to these communities that were viewing them as the hot place. They launched their Green Community Program, which helped fund gardens, tree replantings, and other environmental initiatives in their own neighborhoods. Alongside this, Lawson also funded local sports programs, gave scholarships to single-parent families, and would sponsor many of the local school teams around the area, truly becoming a hot station in the neighborhood. As we approached the 2000s, the good times just kept on rolling in Japan. In 1998, Lawson Japan would hit their 1 trillion yen sales mark, which, converting to US dollars today, is about 9.5 billion in sales. A true testament to Lawson Japan's success. As we enter the 2000s, Lawson would be bought out by the Mitsubishi Corporation in 2001, who would become their majority shareholder. Meanwhile, back in America, Lawson again would be passed off to now Quebec-based company Couche-Tard. This would effectively be the end of Lawson in the US as we know it. The remaining stores would be converted to Circle K's, something most people today would be familiar with. However, Lawson's famous chip dip that I mentioned earlier remains sold in all former Lawson stores today. A testament to just how good it is, and a reminder of where those Circle K's come from. I actually went over to my local Circle K and found out it actually was a Lawson's previously, about 20 years ago I think it was converted. And I was able to find and buy the chip dip, and it was pretty damn good. Back to Japan. Lawson Japan would continue to grow and adapt. In 2006, it would open a new brand of stores called Lawson 100, a 100 yen or dollar store as we know them here in America. Just after this, Lawson became the first company in Japan to commit to the environmental conservation with the Japanese Ministry of Environment. As we approach today, Lawson and Lawson 100 would continue to appear on every corner in Japan, rolling out new products such as their own onigiri, fried chicken, roll cakes, and began offering advanced withdrawal and deposit services in conjunction with growing bank partnerships. In 2017, Lawson would become an official subsidiary of Mitsubishi, cementing their position amongst the Japanese greats. So that was the brief story of how a small Ohio convenience store became a giant in Japanese industry. Anyone who's been to Japan has surely encountered a Lawson and can testify to their outstanding quality, cleanliness, and wide offering of goods. While the Japanese have made Lawson their own, they seem to plan on bringing it back to American shores. As of the time of this video, Lawson Japan has opened 2 stores in Hawaii, possibly creating a foothold for further expansion back into the US. Only time will tell what happens. Thanks for watching this brief video. Subscribe for more video essays on all sorts of topics. I think for now I'm going to stick to Japanese topics, but you never know. I might switch to things like books. I've been thinking about a Lovecraft type video or something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Bye.